Hi, so I don't think this video will be completed until many months later, but I'm just filming this first clip first because I'm actually unhauling 2 books via Carousel. So I listed these books and somehow people actually wanted to buy it, so I'm gonna unhaul them. So I wanted to just leave video footage of me saying why I'm unhauling them and the fact that I'm unhauling them, because altogether this will be put into one big unhaul video. So yeah, welcome to another video. I actually did an unhaul video previously, you can check it out above. That one was quite interesting. I tried using Thrift Asia's trade-in service for the first time. So yeah, I can go watch that video and find out how many books I unhauled and how much I got from those number of books. So I don't have any categories for these two. I'm just gonna tell you why I'm hauling them. It's just 2 books. So okay, without further ado, the first one is Lot of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This one, I'm unhauling it because this book doesn't fit the other 2 books in the series. So basically I got the wrong size and I managed to get the right size for my trilogy. It's this one, it's the white color version, but this is my Infernal Devices, the one beside it here, but you can't see it really well. But yeah, just know that I have the 3 books in this series, just that I'm unhauling this because it doesn't fit the other 2 books. So it makes more sense for me to get rid of one and buy one in comparison to buying 2 books to fit this one. So that's all, there's no tea. And the second book is actually The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So this is like the Penguin Classic Edition. I've maintained the condition from when I got it, which I'm quite proud of myself for. Look at the spine, it's not even creased. Like, this is like new, oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I'm unhauling this because I gave this 1 star. I really did not care for this book. I don't understand the hype. I just found this really boring, dragging too long, nothing at all like what I expected. Don't understand the hype, basically. Might just not be a book for me, but I just really no positive feelings toward this. So very short intro clip. This is just the 2 books that I'm unhauling that I just wanted to let you know before they get into the hands of new readers.
Many months later.
Hi, so I wasn't even planning to do this. I realized that I was gonna pass this book on to my friend who wanted to try this book, and so I decided to just come on and talk about it. So I'm gonna unhaul Nora Goes Off Script, which was kindly sent to me by Times Reads for a review. So trigger warnings for abandonment, alcoholism, death of parent, infidelity and cancer. I gave it 2.5 stars, which I don't think is that bad of a rating, but essentially I didn't really enjoy it because I felt like it was a bit too fast-paced. It's really short and the story, it sounds really nice. So essentially the story is about Nora, who is a screenwriter or playwright, and she writes a story about her husband who cheated on her. That story gets picked up for a big movie production. It turned her whole life around, so she's financially more able to support her and her 2 kids. And the actor who was supposed to act as the male main character, Leo Vance, so the movie was set to film on her house, which is like this super old, really nice place to live in and film as well. And he just didn't leave even after the production crew left, and so he asked her to let him stay there for a week and he would pay her money. And so she agreed because I guess she saw something in his eyes that made her like want to help him out. And from there, like, this romance starts to blossom between them. It just really felt like it was too fast-paced. Skip ahead if you don't want to know anything about what happens in the story, but basically miscommunication was kind of the conflict of this story, which is not something that I typically enjoy reading about, especially in romance novels. The good points were that it was quick, but too quick is not a good thing. I liked how the story ended. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about this. Is leaving my home, my shelves. Hi, so I am coming at a random point in this video because I wanted to update that I unhauled Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore, so I don't actually have the book with me anymore. I wanted to update because I unhauled it, and this is an unhaul video. I unhauled it to re-gift it to somebody else in the hopes that that person will enjoy it more than I did, because I read this book in a video and I really didn't enjoy it that much, but it's a good copy, I guess. It glows in the dark, and so yeah, this is just me coming in here to let you know that I unhauled that book as well. Hi, this video is turning into more of like a vlog unhaul because it's like one by one, but basically I came here to tell you that I'm gonna unhaul The Know Family, which was kindly sent to me by Times Read. I have read it and I enjoyed it, I believe. I gave it 3 stars, and I don't think that's a bad rating necessarily, but it's just the fact that I have too many books on my shelves and I don't think I will want to keep this because it's not like a favorite. Even though it's good, I would feel like other people would benefit from this book. So I'm gonna gift it to my friend because she said she was interested in reading this, and the cover is super pretty as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna gift it to her. I remember reading this really quickly, and it was a time where I didn't have a lot of time to read, but when I picked it up I was like so engrossed and I didn't want to stop. And the writing was a little bit cringy at times, and the plot was a little bit predictable, but it was really easy to fly by, and it really felt like I was watching a K-drama. Hi! So I have a total of 43 books to unhaul this time. I'm not sure whether that's relatively lesser compared to my previous unhauls, but it's the number that I have after collecting them for a few months, I would say. I have once again divided them into 4 categories. The first being books that I have multiple copies of, or like extra copies that I would like to unhaul. The second being books that I have read, enjoyed, and don't really feel like keeping. Books that I have yet to read, but I don't think I'll get to them at all because of the fact that I have just more new books incoming that I'm just more interested in. So I decided now is a good time to unhaul. And last but not least, books I have read but didn't really enjoy, so I would like to unhaul. I am going to briefly talk about the books, I would say, like not go super in depth because then it will be a super long video, but just the gist of it, like why that's in the category, and that's the reason why I'm unhauling the books. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the first category, which is books that I have multiple or extra copies of. The first of which is 1,000 Splendid Suns. This one I wanted to get a matching copy with my version of The Kite Runner. I couldn't remember whether I didn't have 1,000 Splendid Suns or whether I didn't have The Kite Runner, but turns out I had both, so I just decided to unhaul one of it, which was the mass market paperback copy. Then I have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is like just an old copy, so I decided to unhaul it because I have a newer one. We have The Clockwork Princess. This one, it kind of got water damage. I'm not even sure if I can donate this, but I just want to get rid of it because I have a newer and nicer copy now. With that, our first category is done. Next category is our books that I have read, relatively enjoyed, but didn't want to keep. So the first of which is Children of Blood and Bone. So I actually really enjoyed this and thought that the plot was really interesting, but then when I read reviews about the second book, they were kind of a letdown in general. They were mainly talking about how the second book is a letdown, so I didn't really want to persevere on. And then I also found out that there was going to be a third book, but not sure when that was going to be published, so I decided to DNF this series, even though this first book was really good. The Apartment Upstairs, thank you so much to Times Reads for giving me review copies. There are review copies that I'm unhauling as well. This one I enjoyed, and I can't really remember the story already, but I remember that I enjoyed it, and it was a quick read that helped to get through with my reading goal, helped me make reading more fast and enjoyable. Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. This one was quite good, I would say, but I don't want to keep it anymore. I would say that I really enjoyed this because there was this romance in here that was like quite cute, but this book is quite gory, and then it has a lot of like creepy things and then things about nipples, if I remember correctly. It was kind of like an odd book, but the romance was cute, so I don't think I want to keep it on my shelves, so I'm just gonna unhaul it, even though the cover is so pretty, which makes me so sad to say goodbye to. Then we have Well Travelled by Jen DeLuca. This is the 4th book in the Renaissance Fair series. I once again enjoyed, but not to the extent that I enjoyed Juniper and Thorn, but it was really cute as well. I just like all the books in this series, but I don't have the first 3 books, so I don't really want to buy the 3 books to have a complete series. I think there's gonna be more books after this 4th book also, so I just decided to unhaul it. Stepping Up by Sarah Turner. This one was like a very heartwarming kind of chick lit read, and I enjoyed the story once again, but I don't think I would have to keep it to maintain my good memories of it. And with that, I'm done with the second category. Third category are books that I have yet to read, don't think I'll ever read them, so I just decided to unhaul them. The City of Ember, Digital Fortress, Bootleg 10th Anniversary, Human Traces, Dancing in the Moonlight, Electricity, Young Sherlock Holmes, Emperor of the Eight Islands, Resistance, The Linnet Bird, Skyship Academy Strike Force, and then 3 Chinese books. 眼泪是胶囊，下一首歌，给长耳兔的36封信。Life of Pi, I bought this thinking that I should read the book because I already watched the movie but never got around to reading it. Seed, Dream, A Little Dream, Pair of Silver Wings, Bitter Rose, That Touch of Magic, And last but not least, Twin Maker. Most of these books I actually got from a warehouse sale like many years ago. The ones that anything that you can fit into a box you can get for $50. So at that time I didn't really have Goodreads and I just stuffed whatever in that I thought sounded interesting, but I actually never got around to reading most of the books. So that was kind of like a fail. But yeah, I'm unhauling it now. Okay, and last but not least, the final category, books that I have read but didn't really enjoy. So first we have The Cherry Robbers, also sent by Time Reads. This one I don't really like historical fiction, and I also had issues with the pacing and the plot. So yeah. Next is Cherish Farah. This one was like a social horror, which was like my first in that kind of genre and didn't really vibe well with it. So yeah. Caraval, this one I don't really like circus themed things, I think, because I also didn't enjoy the night circus. And then this one was kind of like even worse than that, because at least the night circus, like the vibes and the writing was really good, but this one was kind of like just messy in the circus sense. So yeah, I DNF the series, didn't really like the first book. Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, this one was really like well liked back in the booktube days, I would say, so I thought I would enjoy it as well, but I just got really bored. The Change by Kristen Miller, this one, it feels like it's a read for an older target audience because it follows like 3 different women who are like middle-aged and then they're experiencing things like menopause and that, but also they have kind of like superpowers with it. Just felt like a bit Okay, then we have The Mutual Friend. I do not remember anything about this story. I just remember being very bored and it's such a thick book. Oh, then we have A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. So I didn't really enjoy this series, which is like quite sad because so far out of all of these shops stories, I have enjoyed all of them except for this one, so I have to take out my tabs before I trade it in or donate it or just unhaul it. I liked the world, I would say, with all the different Londons, but I felt like the characters could have been more fleshed out. We could have had more character interactions and it became a little bit too political at some point, so I just got really bored because I don't really like politics in stories. Then we have A Curse of Queens. This one was the 4th book in the series or something, so I didn't really read the first few books before getting to this, and I just read it from there, which I would say props to the books because I was able to follow along, but I still don't want to read the first 3 books in a sense. The Darkening, this one was quite interesting, but again, I don't really remember much about it, so it's just like a typical kind of YA fantasy. We Hunt the Flame, oh, I really didn't enjoy this, which was like so sad because it's like such a hyped book, but I just got bored again. Okay, second last book, we have The Faceless Old Woman Who Secretly Lives in Your Home. This was such a weird book. Like, I don't understand whether there was a metaphor or like I'm supposed to take these things literally. I don't know what's happening and I just, yeah. Oh, and then we have Girl Forgotten by Karen Slaughter. This one was like the second book in, was it Andrea Oliver or something? I can't remember, it's just the second book, but I remembered that I hated the first book and then I thought that the second book was a little better, but not that much better. So those are all the books that I'm unhauling. So I guess I'll take you along with me as I pack the books for a trade-in, because now Thrift is charging a $15 flat courier fee, so I am not gonna pay the $15. I'm gonna go and drop it off, and yeah, the rest of the books maybe I will bring to a different place to unhaul because Thrift doesn't accept non-English books. So yeah, I'll take you along with me. So I'm finally updating this video because I just got the email saying that my books have been credited. They said that they would take 4 to 6 weeks to update, right? So I was just waiting patiently, and then after a while I realized, hey, it's been really long. I haven't gotten any updates. And then I went to check against the date that I submitted. I dropped off my books, right? It has been 7 weeks since I dropped it off. So at the end of the 7th week, I think I emailed the support team on Friday or Saturday, and then today is Monday, which is like the start of the 8th week. They said that they will check with the operations team, so just hang on tight for the updates. And then I just got that notification that I got my books credited a few hours later. So I guess the support team works fast, but maybe the operations team was a little slow or they forgot about my drop off. I do not know. But anyway, so now you should be looking at the same thing that I'm looking at. Oh wait, my total trade-in value for the books in this email is $18.88. Wow, the value is like decreasing every time. Oh my goodness. Okay, so everything has so far been credited for 74 cents. Only A Darker Shade of Magic got credited for $1.21. Okay, a lot of the things have been selected to be donated or recycled. Well, okay, I do not know what I can buy with $18 because to my knowledge, the prices of the books that they are listing there are quite expensive. They're increasing in price as well. So I guess the next part of this video will be really short, which is just using $18 to buy books from their website. Okay, I would say that I am starting to not like this process the longer I use it, because yes, I can drop off my books really easily, and yes, I can get a certain amount back for it, but the amount just keeps decreasing. And I guess my first mode will now just always go to Carousel first, because if somebody wants to buy my books, they would buy it for a higher price than what I can get from thrift. I guess I will just continue using this process if the books are not selling on my Carousel, if that makes sense. Maybe I should start including my Carousel in the link below so that interested people can come and see whether they want to buy my books. Not that there are a lot of books listed there. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this video. Really like anti-climactic end, but okay, anyway, I guess that's what you are here to see, right? If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to this channel to see more of such content. I hope you're having a great day or a great week whenever or wherever you're watching, and remember to stay hydrated, and I'll see you in my next video.